device around the world we go, but the defuse is...
Place there, Simple just jumping casually into the side, he's going to fall down.
And he's going to hit the ground there as Cole. Oh!
Behind Nip exists, who has been doing tremendous work, as well as Freiburg for Nip. But it looks like we are not wasting any time. We are going to get right into it. The pistol round about to begin here on Cobble. And this is all pressure on Nip to get a strong start here, because you can be sure that Fronax, that last match versus LDLC, he was sitting there with his notebook and he was scribbling away furiously. He knows exactly what Nip are going to be up to here.
Yeah, I still consider this a really big risk, but Fronax, I mean, he's definitely, he knows what he's doing this tournament, otherwise they wouldn't have made it so far. FNATIC versus NIP, and we are live. So welcome to ESL One 2014 here in Cologne. Now let's see, FNATIC, they are starting on the more favored side. NIP going with a lot of aggression and already losing a fair bit over Freiburg and Forest. So that's a problem. They might catch Flusher here. Fronax already going down. Flusher gotta get back to safety, but there is no safety. Freiburg almost takes him down after dropping his teammate. Flaren goes down. The backup is here. Flusher stays alive and takes out Forest. There's a knife on JW, but it's not enough.
Crims gets it. Crims in the first round of the first map has knifed exist.
Yeah, and Exist knife his teammate. There's a double knife in the pistol. I think that officially initiates the grand final.
That is a statement. JW wanted to make a point there. We do not respect you, Nip. This title is ours. We will claim our second major championship title. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, because I'm going to actually shank you to get it. That's amazing. FNATIC with a fantastic start already in this map. And that is really, I mean, Nip, that has got to be a big blow dealt to their confidence here. I mean, that crossfire set up by FNATIC to hold off that B site, Flush is staying alive so long, and then to cap it with a knife. That is not how things were supposed to go here for Nip.
Yeah, well, I think NIP are going to be pretty confident when it comes to losing rounds here. They have had nothing. Their whole run to this grand final has been nothing but close games. So at this point, if nothing else, they've proven to themselves and to everyone watching, they are capable of making the comeback happen. So hopefully they won't lose their composure in the middle of the match here. FNATIC, on the other hand, they really have been looking dangerously strong this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, they took out Dignitas in the semis, and that Dignitas is a team that we were all saying you have to keep your eye on them, just like VP. VP getting taken out in the quarterfinals, but Dignitas into the semis, and you're thinking, okay, FNATIC versus Dignitas, there's no way to call it. This could go anyway, but FNATIC did it in style 2-0. So this is, I mean, they have all the confidence going into this final match here versus their old nemesis. Ninjas in Pyjamas, all of the pressure is on them, and so far this second round, it doesn't look like Nip are going to be able to do to FNATIC what they did to LDLC in the last best of 3.
Now, they did purchase an AK, which makes a lot of sense, because you do get 1,500 for that knife, so no issue at all. You know, trying to pick up an AK and do something about it. Not really, I think, even a big investment for an IP. They didn't get the bomb down, so they might as well. Normally, they would have just gone for C-sets and armor, but because they had the knife, they could go for an AK instead, and that's kind of a cool switch up.
But that's the benefit of that, because just to make it perfectly clear, you get $1,500 if you get a knife kill. That's why it's so valuable to go for it at times when you have the chance. And so, I totally agree with you. I mean, Nip going for it, why not, right? If they can catch FNATIC off guard, they've got SMGs. I mean, Fronax has actually got a right now. If you get that, it's huge. But now, we have to see here, Nip not wasting any time at all, rushing straight out to the B side. Holding solid with the help of Olafmeister.
Yeah, and very nice hold here from the counter-terrorist side. They don't lose a single person. Crim's gonna pick up a triple kill. And that is one of the things that NIP did have some success with last time they played this map was that rush out towards the B bomb site. So maybe FNATIC have figured that much out, but there are a lot of different options, and NIP haven't tested out nearly any of them yet. Now they have rifles picked up, no AWP on either side, and JW still with a Max 7, which is another point that that Sean was picking up during the pre-game analysis here, is that JW can use just about any weapon.
He can, and he's famous for it, but we've seen what he can do, especially, I mean, FNATIC on move, right? That was the first time, or the big time we saw that Swag 7 really being put to use for JW. He funded his team throughout the entire half. He's done it in the past as well, and overpass. So JW is to be feared when he has that shotty in hand, and he's already got $6,000 in the bank as well. Going into the next round here, FNATIC have plenty of options. All the money. It's all on Nip now to get some big kills and actually take this 4th round bye. And there you go. Get right. Finding Crims just through the smoke there as well. Very finely done.
Yeah, tossing a Molotov down into the drop zone and then casually turns and takes down a player right through the smoke. It's a really annoying start for FNATIC. Wow, JW down here in the middle. And this is a pretty cool position to play. If you're going to have a max 7, then why would you not play when they have to get up close to you? And all of this is max 7 range at this point, so it's not at all bad idea. But then IP looks like they are adjusting a little bit, leaving one everybody else before the being offside. They're going jumping through the smoke here and not connecting his Olofmeister. He goes down. Now it's a 3-on-5. Flusher trying to bring it back. Will drop get right. Can they get into the bomb site? Pronax is still holding strong here. And there's not a lot of health on Exist right now. 20 seconds there. Grenade. Boom. Exist. Now next. Freiburg and Forrest left. It's a 2-on-2 here. Pronax goes down. Freiburg again. Absolute clutch. Master and Forrest from behind will drop JW. And the 4th round is a success for NIP. Seven, tell me, how long is Freiburg going to keep this up?
I certainly hope for Nip's sake that it's going to be this entire best of 3, because he, throughout this entire tournament, has been doing amazing work for this team. Just getting entry frags, locking down those clutch rounds. Freiburg is a huge reason why they're here in this final right now. And I'm not surprised to see that it's him that makes it possible, because for a second there, it was looking very nasty. Pronax sitting on that bomb, on that B site. If Freiburg misses that shot, it's done. It's over for Nip, and we're looking at FNATIC with 4 rounds on the board. So this is exactly how Nip have to bounce back in this. This is going to give them the confidence going forward now. But we already see, I mean, FNATIC had so much money to invest into this round.
And speaking of confidence, JW just decided, instead of hiding behind going towards him, he actually pushed through to try and take a shot before he fell back. So that's really a sign that he is feeling on his A game. He has missed both the 2 options he had so far, and just going to be waiting down in the middle here.
JW with that AWP, exactly what we expect to see here. Olofmeister has it as well, and this is something that we have to mention here for FNATIC. Both of those players are the best offers in the world. Olofmeister is terrifying with weapon, but of course everybody knows JW and what he's capable of. But right now he's not exactly connecting with his shots, and he will have to fall back. Forrest will get the punish on Flusha, and that's actually the defense somewhat weakened here on the A site. They lose a man, and FNATIC have to start wondering exactly where Nip are going to be coming from.
What's the adjustment? This is such a big map, so getting pickoffs is really great, but if you don't do it too early, you're not going to have that much time on offside. So look at the clock here. 30 seconds. Olofmeister still holding over by, and he's not going to miss. Takes down round, goes for a second peek. That one isn't going to connect, but he's still back in. Close now. Olofmeister with a second. Are we going to see a third? He's looking for the triple. He's not going to get it. We'll take him down, but look at the clock now. 14 seconds here for us. John JW comes up from behind, takes down Pronax. Crims alone. 9 seconds, and he comes.
That shot there was crucial for Crims. If he hit that, he won the round. If he missed it, this is what happens. Forrest will get another frag. That's 4 for him total in this round. But that was a shot that Crims, I mean, it was an opportunity. If he hits it, he wins the round for FNATIC. But unfortunately for him, he just couldn't quite react in time. Olofmeister also with an impressive performance there. I mean, I like to see it that we actually have the ops split up as well. 1 on A, 1 on B. A lot of the time we've been seeing the ops, you know, double op on A, right? That's the go-to setup. But FNATIC already changing it up, trying to catch Nip off guard and really make them wonder exactly how FNATIC are going to be setting up each round.
Now they're actually going to be an eco FNATIC here, and they're moving up quite aggressively, but Get Right going to dispatch of 2 of them quickly. Freiburg down to, Freiburg also picking up Pronax here, so this eco round, not really much of an effect, but I think I like the fact that FNATIC actually tried to make something of it and try to see if they can catch NIP off guard.
I mean, you're talking about a minimal investment here on FNATIC's part. If they can actually catch anybody with those CZs up close like that, they are lethal. And they only need to get a couple kills here to have this be an effective eco as far as FNATIC are concerned. Flusha right around the angle, just makes it, but Exist is going to peek out, and there you go. This is what we're talking about. Flusha, instant kill on Exist. And that's an excellent trade as far as he's concerned. He's got $300 on him. He just took, what, $4,500 off of Exist. That's a perfect play there for FNATIC.
Yeah, that's exactly how the maps work. Now, Olofmeister's pushing up behind but he's actually stomping quite a bit here, thunderfooting away, and he's going to be going down. Fiflaren, not even really sure why, but somehow he ended up in the right place at the right time, and that's just how it works out. So that is going to be equalizing the score here. 3-3, moving into the 7th round. Already, I would say, NIP with a really good adjustment. From what we've seen so far, it seems like you can make do with about 6 rounds or so in the first half. On the terrorist side, that is.
Yeah. Yeah, six rounds would be great, I think, actually, for NiP. If they could get that down, that would be fantastic. We have seen this turn into quite a CT-sided map. So NiP, with this strong start, the ability to bounce back here after FNATIC take the initial 3 rounds is huge for them. And just like we were saying, I mean, a clutch win in that 4th round bye for them really set them on the right path. NiP are now the team to stop here. FNATIC, no fancy weapons for them. It's only going to be Colts across the board with some nades.
Right now, FNATIC holding with just a single person in the middle with that drop zone, and that's actually something NIP haven't gone for yet. So FNATIC gotta make sure they stay awake and really keep up to date there, because if they get a little bit complacent, if they get defocused here in the middle, that's gonna be a big problem. They gotta, you know, they're a little bit worried. You can see actually with Crimson here, because when NIP aren't hitting that, they keep thinking, well, eventually, probably something's gonna happen here. And it's all about right at this point.
It's going to be Forrest actually manning the AWP, takes a shot, manages to clip JW, drops him down to 20 HP. Actually, right, instantly looking to apply pressure here. There's a man on his left. He flicks in time. He couldn't get it. He's not going to make it. Pronax will shut him down, brings it back to a 4-on-4, and Freiburg will not find it. Pronax with 2 huge kills for FNATIC.
Yeah, that was a big miss by Freiburg. Pushing into the bomb site, flush us right. This is where we saw Forrest hold yesterday. He's going to push up with the M4. This is looking really good for FNATIC. Flusher with a double kill as well. Forrest alone, going to get backstabbed. And a great round from FNATIC. Pulls it home. They only lose JW. But the fact is, that could have been a disastrous round for FNATIC. If Pronax goes down to Freiburg, all of a sudden, it's almost no way Flusher can hold the bomb site any longer.
He gets cut up, exactly. It's crossfire town for NiP at that point. They can just roll onto that site. Flusher in a very precarious position, really. He was able to get the drop on 1 man, but that is a very popular spot to be holding from. So you can be sure that NiP are, or should be at least, trying to clear it consistently when they make a play for that site. We'll have to see how effective it is in the future, but now, because of that round, FNATIC are able to buy up an AWP now for JW.
And look at the absolute nerve on JW. He actually, again, walks past the smoke and double scopes up towards the sniper nest. If anyone else is out in that courtyard and they're looking towards it, they can't see a thing. I have no idea how he has the nerve to do this in the Grand Finals for $100,000 at 1st place.
I love that there's a little bit of symmetry here. This time, JW attacking Forrest down to 20 HP or so. So JW almost getting caught in that corner as well. NiP missing a bit of an opportunity to get the punish. But this is still anybody's round, in fact. NiP still moving around. I mean, they've only really left Forrest over towards a slope like this, trying to set up and see if he can catch anybody rotating through. Once his teammates start taking noise on B, this is going to be the center of attention right here.
This is actually what they've been doing almost every round, except the last one where they did end up trying to go to A and didn't work, so I guess NIP just decided that B bomb side just seems to be working better for us. Can they get the right entry kill? I think that's the key. Line's waiting and get a new position. Broken walls. First kill here, Freiburg goes down, Olofmeister pistols out, almost gets the 3rd one, but it doesn't even matter. The rest of his team is there to step it up, and that's a completely solid hold from FNATIC, and a really good adjustment here for the counter-terrorist side.
Very solid. I mean, you pointed it out, but that's a great position there for Olofmeister to be holding. He's really making NiP guess, because you see, NiP are trying to adjust to Olofmeister. That's why they throw that Molotov there, to make sure that he can't be hiding behind that angle. He was so dangerous with that AWP in the round before, so now they throw that molly, but Olofmeister, he's 1 step ahead of NiP. He's already changed it up. So a very solid hold there by FNATIC. Olofmeister holding them at that point means that the rotation comes in with the rest of the defense, and they're able to set up the crossfire and just obliterate NiP. So NiP now down to pistols again. 4 CZs and 1 P250. Freiburg a purist.
So just when it was looking like maybe NIP was going to take the game into the first half, this is FNATIC's map pick. They bounce right back on the FNATIC lineup here. Drop zone, going to be nothing but bodies falling down from the sky there as Fiflaren and Forrest are left. Crims and the crew are just going to pick it up. You can hear someone running here, jumps up, and actually a little bit dangerous. Knife is out as well. It's going to be a no-scope for JW. A little bit of support on that kill. Can he pick up Forrest as well? It'd be nice if they could not lose any rifles here, and they won't. So great play from FNATIC. That builds up their economy, their confidence, and also, you know, NIP realize now they have a lot more to do here. A lot of money. Look at this FNATIC scoreboard right now. 9,000 on Pronax. JW with about 7,000 and 8,000 on Crims. Looking really smart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is now NiP starting to lose a little bit of control here in this round, because they really are going to have to win 2 back-to-back buy rounds against FNATIC before they can really get FNATIC down to that point where they're going to have to start start questioning themselves, do they eco or do they force? Nip now, it's going to be a long slaughter for them. They needed to maintain the momentum and keep FNATIC on the back foot, but JW is not interested in that at all. Picks off Get Right to start, giving his team the advantage in this defense.
All the way by the A-bomb side, spotting a couple of people, and JW rotates back in. He's so mobile. Every round he's been over by A-long, and then one round he just picks it up, goes to the B-bomb side, and goes super aggressive. There's no way in hell NIP could have guessed that was going to happen, and they've already lost 2 because of it. So right now, they're a hell of a lot to work out this week. Next comes up with a headshot as well, and it's Forrest the trying with Laren left here, and they're not even getting any kills right now.
It's at that point they're pinned down. They just can't get in. The Forrest landed some sick headshots for that to actually work there for Nip, but it's going to be the rush down.
They wanted to nice him.
Yeah, I think they did want to set up for that. I mean, FNATIC are really, I think this is all, like, no holds barred right now. There are no lines that need to be crossed or anything like that. They have no respect. It's just going to be, we are going to grind you into the dust right from the start, Nip. FNATIC, this is all about ending this 2-0, not letting it go to a third map.
Yeah, and actually I think it might be even worse. I think it's actually on NIP to end this 2-0, because that third map's Inferno, and I'm not sure if FNATIC, I think I would favor FNATIC on Inferno against NIP right now. But that's obviously going to come down to the test here. JW up in that window room in the middle, and obviously it's an eco round from NIP, so there's not really much they can do here. But again, right now NIP are publishing to pick up rifles from FNATIC, which means once they so many consecutive rounds, it's going to be really tough.
Oh, this is a brutal beat down here. Flush, so someone controls this, ready to get forward, and he even shoots his teammate in the side of the head. Careful there. Get Right will find Crim, so at least there's 1 kill for Nip. They're going to force FNATIC to spend a little bit of money in the next round, but that's not good enough right now for Nip. Nip need these rounds, these eco rounds for themselves, to be a bit closer, a bit more effective. They need to be taking 2-3 rifles off of FNATIC to really have an impact on their money. But still, I mean, JW with the spot at mid, and basically Flush is setting it up perfectly to gun them down. A very quick, clean round there for FNATIC. And now we go into the 12th round. FNATIC with 8 rounds to Nip's 3.
Yeah, they've won the last 5 in a row on the FNATIC lineup, so it's looking really good. Again, JW just pushing out, scoping up. I really am impressed by the confidence it takes to do this kind of work, because if someone's down there looking by the fountain outside, or the statue, or whatever it is, he's definitely going to be going down very quickly. And again, a different kind of setup here, as JW is down in the middle, going to be taken out by Flaren. They just can't guess where he is, and as a result, how are you going to smoke or flash someone out if you don't know where they are? Because you can't smoke off everywhere on cobblestone. There's so many pathways,
it's just not possible. And I feel like this really just plays to JW. Great kill there by Get Right, though. Catches Pronax pushing in. He saw exactly what was happening, but Olafmeister with the control of mid is already going to get the flank going. Exists Freiburg down, but Get Right strikes. He's going to pick it up and bring it into a 1v3, but he's kind of caught in a box at this point. Crims is cutting off the access to B site, and there are 2 FNATIC members on that A site, so Get Right, this is the best case scenario for him here. If he could find this kill instantly on Crims. And he is looking towards the right angle, but now there's just too many places for him to be checking. He turns around to check the site proper, and that's going to be it. Get Right getting caught. FNATIC now with 9 rounds on the board.
That was actually a bit of a mistake on NIP's part, because once they got into the drop zone, that was that was a nice execution, but what happened afterwards was that Get Right was going on the upstairs, and they actually went down the window to the right-hand side, and if they had timed that perfectly, they would have peeked out both sides at the same time, but 2 of them ran out, and Get Right wasn't able to get into position in time. So I think they could have definitely done that better in IP. Now Get Right's up here, and is JW going to do it again? He's walking out, he's scoping up, and Get Right gets the better of the star sniper on FNATIC's lineup here. So that's a pretty good investment, and I think that position from Get Right was based on his spawn. He spawned close to that sniper tower, and he said, I'm going to go for it.
Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised to see him swap that rifle with somebody else now at this point. Headed over to Forest, get an AK. But Nip now actually have the entry going for them. It's the first big advantage that they've had in quite some time. So we have to see how they decide to play this out, because Get Right got that kill so early. They still have more than a minute left on this clock to start working around the map and seeing if they can get another pick. Nip really with the advantage going into this at this point.
Freiburg, look at this. Freiburg actually with a practice smoke here. This is a safe strategy from NIP. That's definitely some homework to do here. They're going to smoke off the right-hand side of the entrance into the B-bomb side, which actually does a fair bit of damage to Forrest. Can they take all of his everything he gets taken out by assist? Now Pronax has to hold the bomb site. Still 35 seconds. Can they deal with it? They will deal with it. It's Freiburg again. Crims and Flusher are both here. They gotta get in quick, but there's still a band backstabbing. Flusher takes down Freiburg. Where's the teamwork for NIP?
Oh, they have to realize that there's another man on here and they're looking for him. They're expecting Crims to really push forward. I don't know why Crims is throwing his guns out there, maybe trying to bait a shot out, but he is going to get naded down to half HP. This is still a 2-on-2 situation, and NIP need to find a way past because they're out of nades. They no longer have any way to cut these members off for FNATIC. 10 seconds left, but Get Right strikes, takes out Flusher, and just in the nick of time, NIP will find the plant. Now it's an impossible situation here for Crims. Too many spots to check at this point. They can set up the after plants for NIP.
They should be able to. The guy you normally expect to go out sniping here, Get Right, but he's already got the double. Hey, he's gonna pick up that triple. Get Right with the AWP. That is a rare sight, and the few times that we have seen it, it's actually been pretty awful, but this time it was absolutely what they needed. The first pick on JW, and then they got into the site, and I was just about to scold NIP because what it looked like to me was they had the entrance into B, they had Get Right down in the middle, he could have backstabbed them, and it looked like that was going to be the perfect move. And then he decided, nope, I'm just going to walk in and take them out instead.
We're going to take this fight straight up. Flusher with his rotation also giving the opportunity there for NIP to actually get past because Crims had to hold so passively. So NIP really just managing to make it work, played patiently, didn't try and rush anybody down. They just tried to play for the time and got it done. Get Right, however, now once again out in mid, and he's looking to see if he can't find exactly where JW is hiding this time around. Looking towards the window, looking towards the apartments, but JW in turn is playing fairly passively this time on his own side.
He's taking up a new angle at every single time. If you compare all the 14 rounds we've had so far, 13 rounds, you'll see that JW has, he might have been doing this 3 rounds later, but there's no 2 consecutive rounds where he's exactly in the same spot. And that is really frustrating for NIP right now. They've found him, and that's half the battle right now. At least they know he's on this side of the map.
That's true, and they do know that that A apartments, of course, it's going to be the highly contested spot for that A bomb site, because as you can see, either you go down through the ramp, which is wide open, and you don't want to be running at JW across wide open ground, or you try and push through the apartments. JW and Wolfmeister both have those AWPs, but they have to split up again. There's Flusher managing to strike and pick off Forrest, who was working up that ramp, and now FNATIC will prepare the defense here for the B.
Yeah, Wolfmeister have been boosted up here. In fact, it's a really great position to fall back down to safety, but not quick enough for Freiburg, who picks up the headshot. Crims, he can just wait, hold back here for teammates to come in. It should be all right, but he goes down through the smoke. Get Right will pick up the kill, and I think a big mistake on Crims' spot here. 8 seconds now. They gotta get this bomb down. Flush just rushing up, trying to see if he can stop it. He's gonna pick up the wall. 4 seconds left, and it's a 1-on-1, and they can't put the bomb down. Flush is gonna survive the round, and NIP will run out of time and lose Flusher. If he gets this kill, it's gonna be even worse.
Freiburg backing off. Freiburg will get the kill on Flusher. He stays alive, and that was so important. But Get Right, I think he actually got caught on the wall trying to make the jump up to that site. There was so little time. There was no time to go for a re-jump, right, for a second try. And really just NIP playing it down to the wire. But once again, Freiburg, individual play, I think, is what's really determining this here for NIP, whether they get these rounds or not. Freiburg again able to get multiple kills and just clear up the defense, because FNATIC were ready. They were prepared. They had already rotated a guy over from that B side, or from that A side rather, to make sure that NIP weren't getting through. And somehow, once again, NIP, with the help of Freiburg, stormed the site. They just need to do it with the next another 10 seconds basically to work with. If they could time it so they have another 10 seconds, then that bomb does go down.
Nice pickup from JW. Takes out one of the few players who didn't have a rifle here. The other 3 do have AKs. We're in the 15th round, and NIP, I'm not sure 4 is enough to work with. I think a minimum is actually 5. 4-11 would be a really ridiculous comeback from NIP if they could do that. 5. I believe the magic number they're looking for here is 5. They do have a couple of AKs to work with, and even a few smokes, so they can still execute here. But I think right now, what they've been doing for a lot of rounds is also very, should we say, expected for FNATIC, because they put Forrest somewhere with a bomb site, and then everyone else goes B. So as soon as they find Forrest, that's almost an instant tell that probably everyone else is going to be a B. This is
really worked on. They're clearing everything. Pronax waiting in his little corner. This is the Pronax spot. Just spraying, and he gets a shot. Pronax with a headshot on Freiburg, clears it up, but they do manage to strike back. And if the play comes in from Crimson, he can't do it. Get Right gets the first, and this is now just exist alive, but not for long. Wolfmeister removes them from the map, and it will be an 11-4 finish at the end of the first half. FNATIC with an excellent performance on their CT side. This is definitely doable here going into the second half for FNATIC.
I absolutely agree. They did pick the map as well, so you got to wonder if they have either been studying a little bit or secretly preparing, or whichever way you like it. Either way, they do have a really, really good first half. And
come on, Forrest. Easy skins, easy life. He needs to make it happen. I want to see Forrest grin. We need the Forrest troll grin.
well, maybe that's going to happen if they end up winning. If not, I'm not really sure. NIP, this
Oh,
is
there it is! Somebody printed it out! Awesome! I'm loving the posters so far.
third major in a row that they've managed to make it to the Grand Finals, and they've lost the last two. First time it was to FNATIC, second time it was to Virtus.pro. This time they're up against FNATIC again with a slightly different lineup, but look, that's not even the really interesting thing. Is that part of that old lineup is still here in Devilwalk, who's behind them, one of the guys who helped to beat NIP the first time around. So if anyone has, you know, that little extra bit of insight, knows a little bit about the patterns they play in, how they might react to a certain situation, definitely Devilwalk could be that man.
Now, Devilwalk is the man that I mean, it's so fitting for him to be the coach as well, because even knowing exactly how FNATIC interacted as players, right, before the change, before the roster change, Devilwalk was like kind of the older brother mixed father of the team. You know, everybody would go to him for guidance. He would be the one to keep everybody together, solving any kind of arguments, problems that ever came up. Like that, this team would not have held together if it weren't for Devilwalk. So it really is fitting to have him as the coach, because the players all trust him. He is their go-to figure. But Olafmeister and Krims coming into this team has really been such a strong addition. I mean, you heard the news and you gasped, right? You know, Schneider and Devilwalk off FNATIC. This is incredible. And they bring in Olafmeister and Krims, but it's only been a good thing here for FNATIC. I mean, obviously they're sitting once again in a final for a major.
Yeah, and with a fairly newly minted lineup. But if you look at the history, though, that's exactly what happened when Pronax was added in FNATIC. They got to play one tournament. That was the MSI tournament in Beijing, China, and then they went straight into DreamHack and won it. They had about a week and a half to play with that lineup, and they won the first major tournament. So there is something that Pronax is able to do, and that's also what Sean Gares was talking about during our analyst panel here. Now it's going to be the second half coming up. So once again, welcome FNATIC and NIP. Best of three. This is the first map, second half. So you're just on time.
Look at how they're really trying to sneak in here, FNATIC. They want to get as many as possible to really take this by surprise. Everybody goes thundering down, but Forrest is going to get one. Get right here with the CZ. Gets two headshots for Get Right, and he stops the push cold. It's into a 2-on-4, and FNATIC looking to get the edge on Nip and catch him by surprise. Completely flounder.
That was almost like a build order loss for FNATIC. NIP really had a good setup to deal with this. I still think it's a really cool idea for FNATIC, because if NIP just have the one-man rolling here, that's going to be a perfect entry. But Forrest and Get Right both, and especially Get Right at that range with the CZ, not at all bad. But this is not over yet. Olafmeister has picked up a USPS, and he's going to try and see if he can snipe someone in this B bomb site. 40 seconds is a problem, and the bomb is also dropped in there. But 2-on-4.
Well, they still have 40 seconds. That's the important bit here. If it was 20 seconds, 15 seconds, this would be an impossible situation for FNATIC. But at least they still have a little bit of time to hunt. Just Nip holding so passive now is key. Freiberg staying alive. That is it as well. And this is going to be the end. Krims gets caught, and Nip will pick up the pistol round here in the second half. It was crucial that they do so, and they do it in very fine fashion.
And a round like that really makes me think, we can't really test this, except if we ask Pronax afterwards, if he actually went for the idea of, you know, he just looked at the games that NIP had played and thought, all right, previous rounds in the eco, they've been having just a single person there. So, you know, I'm going to hope that they do the same thing, and NIP maybe didn't. We're going to have to go back and test that, but now
yes,
we're at the 17th round.
By getting into it, you know that Pronax was definitely taking notes when Nip were playing LDLC. I mean, we've seen plenty of games from Nip on this map versus Cloud9 versus the whole lot. So really, you know that Pronax has a lot of information to go off of, but that's the power of Nip. They're able to change up their game as well. They've made the adjustments necessary. They're playing Pronax, and Pronax is playing into their hands, really. So good kill coming in here from Olafmeister. Get Right will manage to nade him into oblivion, however, and Fifth Lauren finds one as well. Get Right looking to use that Pronax weapon. But flush up.
I'm still not really a fan of him picking it up, but actually on this map he has made it work a couple of times, so who am I to question it? There's another thing here that really comes into this as well when it comes to trying to anti-strat on a map that that nobody really knows how to play, which is that NIP, if they realize, okay, Pronax has been looking at how we play, let's try and change it up, how many go-to strats do they really have? This isn't like on Nuke or Dust 2 or something, you could go years back and say, okay, well actually maybe NIP could go years back and think, does anyone remember any kind of cobblestone strat from 1.6 we can pull up? But other than that, they just have a few weeks where they've been looking at it, and that doesn't leave them with much.
No, not at all, and not half that time, just like half a week to really apply, practice anything at all on this map. We are seeing NIP evolve live here on this map. They're going into each official match, and they're getting better each and every time when they come out of them. So this is why NIP are the most consistent team in the world. This is why every team fears them. Their ability to adapt on the spot. Forrest will find JW up in A apartments. There's still a second man here, but not for long. Before I'm going to break that 5-7 in hand, he has yet to upgrade to a rifle as well. That 5-7 is lethal, and Exist is getting dropped down, but Get Right's got the Pro 90. FNATIC back off. They don't want any of that.
I love this W hold from NIP. I think it's such a good idea having two people here towards the drop zone. Meister goes down as well, and it's a round where actually NIP don't lose a single person. Freiburg will be very low on health here right now, and this should be a huge concern for FNATIC. It's Get Right top fragging with 19 kills, and once Get Right is fired up and up and running, and we saw how he reacted to the victory against LDLC. Once he's on point, really terrible things can happen to your team.
And talking about Get Right, he has been very inconsistent actually, showing some of his lowest performances in his CSGO career in recent months. So for him to come in strong into this Grand Finals and top frag here, that's going to give him a huge boost of confidence. And you're definitely right, that is going to be a very sad time for FNATIC if Get Right really gets on a roll, because that'll boost the rest of his teammates along with him, Freiburg, Forrest, and then it become that monster, that Godzilla of CSGO, that is just unstoppable.
From that first half, 11-4, now all of a sudden we're at 11-7, and it's only a 4-round difference. That doesn't seem like so much, but FNATIC can take a big leap forward here by winning this round and breaking down NIP's economy a little bit. 2 in a row, and FNATIC almost have this map, so it isn't as bad as it seems here. NIP, they're closing in, but FNATIC can still take it.
Absolutely. They have got full buy right now going into it, so we have to see exactly how they're going to make use of these nades. We can see Flusha setting up right now. Thank you, Vendetta. And we're going to see exactly where this smoke is going to go down. It's a similar one to the one that Freiburg went for, exactly. Blocking off that spot onto the B side so that the crossfire becomes more difficult, and it forces rotations out. They have to actually change up their angle to cover this side effectively now that those smokes are down. But hey, Forrest doesn't have any problem with that. 2 kills for him in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, they fell into the drop zone again, and the double hold for NIP really seems to be effective here. If you plan spots, one person down the middle, that's Flusher, and actually FNATIC have decided we're going to go for an A push, and I think to people jumping down into the middle. So now that they're gone, it doesn't work as well. It's kind of a mix. One half is missing. JW coming in a 1-on-4 here. The bomb is dropped in the middle. There's only 10 seconds, and he's going to go down. Forrest, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's almost an ace. It's very close here, and it's going to be 8-11. Forrest jumping up to 14 kills in this round.
Yeah, Forrest is just everywhere, and that's what I'm talking about. If Get Right gets rolling, Forrest isn't far behind. Freiburg as well, sitting with 12, 1, and 12. These are the 3 heavy hitters here for NIP. Exist as well, but they're, the thing is that right now these 3 players, they're being very greedy. They aren't interested in sharing it all with their teammates. Fafarin and Exist sitting at 4 frags, but that's not a problem if NIP are winning the rounds. FNATIC now sitting on a pistol round again. They have to eco. They aren't able to get the bomb plant, and that's like a bonus $800 could make all the difference for FNATIC and get them those guns, but it's not going to be the case. Get Right changing up the angle yet again.
And Exist changing the frag score there, up to 5 now. That goes down to Pronax. That's a really good pistol kill for them, but they should be able to stabilize, and it's going to be a round where very made it to the bomb site, but he forgot the bomb, so that is not exactly an ideal situation.
Look at that, actually, how it's breaking down for FNATIC right now. Everybody very consistent across the board. Olafmeister with 18 sitting at the top, and that really just goes to show he is the man who makes things happen for FNATIC. Flusha and Crims right behind him. Pronax and JW not too far behind. So, really, everybody's playing fairly consistently here on FNATIC's side. Now it's just a matter of them figuring out exactly what NIP are changing in their defense, because you know that Pronax right now is going through his head exactly what are the changes, how do we adapt to them, and how do we take advantage of this.
Well, it must be a source of really big frustration if you think you've got a team figured out from watching them just play, then you get in the map and they switch it up just maybe enough that it's not going to work any longer. Can you actually then make a counter adjustment? I think that's an even harder task than the one NIP was faced with, but an opening pick is an opening pick, and that goes for any map. JW, he gives them one onto the top fragger here, one of the top fraggers, who is this Forest. Get Right is still alive, of course, and it's a good start for FNATIC.
And this really works for FNATIC as well. Now we have to see exactly where they take the bomb, and it is shaping up to be a bit of an A play here. 4 guys gathering towards that A slope with JW on high, watching their backs with that AWP, and FNATIC gearing up for this push. NIP, they have gone for the rotation to bolster the defense here. Get Right is now covering with Biflaren. But Biflaren, this is going to be a crucial shot. He needs to land it instantly. As soon as he sees them coming up the slope, he has to drop that man. And there you go. He spots JW first. Biflaren coming out ahead for NIP.
How did nobody see each other? It looked like they were just scoped up against time. That's a huge kill. Get Right picks up one and gets a second one. Can he get third? Not quite. But Biflaren is there with a quick double end. It will be Pronax left. 1 on 3, and the clock is ticking down here. 18 seconds. If he could get the bomb plant, that would give FNATIC so much more money. But Biflaren with a triple kill. And that's about time. By Robin Johansson slips it up, and he will do it. Now, outfragging exists. And you are right, because Biflaren and Exist, they're loaded on the scoreboard, and in match against LDLC on this very map, Biflaren had a long stretch where he killed absolutely nobody, and it nearly cost NIP the game. So if he can step it up even 10%, that could be all that NIP needs.
It could be all that it takes. And Get Right doing a very good job there, setting it up. That 1-2 combination defense on A. Biflaren peeks, draws the attention. Get Right gets a frag. Get Right peeks, draws the attention. Biflaren takes a man out. So the defense there working very well here. NIP now having to shut down FNATIC once again, who have managed to put together a respectable buy. Quite a few nades to work with, but Biflaren waiting up in APS, decides to back off, and that single smoke should stop the push here from FNATIC. They won't be able to rush through.
Really dangerous the close that they were with that AWP. I really want him to go back and take a longer distance here. So he's going to do that, so that's a really, really smart move, I think, from Biflaren. Now, they only have AK, so this time he doesn't have to deal with JW, but can still get the kills up in the back here. JW peeks out, and there's a fire. They take him down through that wood panel. Forest with the right through, and it's to pick up the 1, the 2. Can they do more than that? They need more. Biflaren picks up 1. No scope, misses, and it's a 2-on-2. FNATIC have a chance here. They need to pick up this round. They gotta do it. They've lost so many in a row. They've not won a single round in the second half. Now is the time for it.
Yeah.
38 seconds, and Freiburg is in a really good position. He's covering the bomb. They have to pick it up, get into the bomb site without losing a single member here, and that is not an easy task. They want to go and try and see if they can make it 2-on-1 before they do it. Flash pops in, and Exist is down. Great play from Pronax. Tactical genius here. Now Freiburg is going to be walking around. That bomb is down, and Freiburg looking at the situation. He's going to be walking up. Spots Pronax here in the corner. Takes him down, turns around for the 180. Does 15 bullets left. Freiburg crunches it. Are you kidding? It's going to be a double. He does it again, and again, and again.
And there's nothing to be said, really. Speechless that Freiburg manages to pull it off. I mean, really, walking in there, and you already saw, he knew exactly where the second man would be, where Flusher would be holding from, trying to control the spray, does the 180, but keeps his cool. FNATIC and Ninjas in Pyjamas both have ice in their veins for Pronax to slow down the pace and turn it into the 2v1 in the first place. He knew how much time they had. He knew he could get the advantage for his team, but then individual performance once again strikes, and we do have NIP actually managing to even things up here. It is now 11-11. NIP with the advantage going into it, still with the money and quite a bit of as well on Biflaren and Exist both. They have no worries here. They can keep the pressure ratcheted up against FNATIC.
Because we luckily don't know how this game is going to end, we can't really call the MVP yet, but at this point, Freiburg is in the lead by miles and miles and miles. I have no idea how it is even possible for one person to clutch that many rounds in a single tournament.
He has been the MVP. It's pretty clear at this point. If NIP were to take the entire thing, he gets the vote, and that is going, there's no discussion there. The number of times that he saved NIP's bacon. FNATIC, they have to know this as well, and I mean, mean, there may be a tremor there, but then again, it is fitting for it to be FNATIC, or Freiburg rather, versus Flusha in a 1v1. The clutch players for both teams, and Flusha as well, which was said earlier, you know, one of the highest, basically, statistically speaking, at least earlier in the year, the best clutcher in the world. So for Freiburg to take him out, that's not a bad statement. And once again, NIP are going to be shattering FNATIC's confidence. This timeout, I think, is basically them trying to slow down the pace.
Well, there was a PC issue, actually, so they get a bit of a free timeout, which is definitely great for FNATIC. They needed. I think you're right, though. That was a soul-shattering round, because the move that Pronax did, the decision to say, the normal play would say, let's focus on getting the bomb down, and then the pressures on the counter-terrorists, they're going to try and come and we'll pick them up. And Pronax decided, no, wait, let's make it a 2-on-1 instead. I'll just flash in with a perfect flashbang, godlike flashbang, and takes down Exist and puts them in a 2-on-1, and Freiburg still takes it away. That is something that really cuts deep into FNATIC's mentality right here, and this pause could really help them.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, it actually couldn't happen at a worse time. I mean, if this is not a pause, if they're just resetting, I mean, this could not happen at a worse time for NIP, because this is the moment when you want to actually just continue.
Oh, look at Forrest flirting with the camera.
This is when you want to keep pushing. You don't want FNATIC to have time to catch their breath. You want to keep that pressure on. So NIP need to keep it up on the FNATIC right now and not let them get that second breath. FNATIC actually putting quite a bit of pressure early on here. They want to catch up. Getting out onto this B site so quickly here. Breakdown. We were falling off. Monster is completely blind at this point. Switching to JW, gets a double bow down. Freiburg and Exist cleared up. But then Fifth Lauren comes into play with the AWP. Takes out Flusha and brings it back to a 4-on-3. FNATIC will be able to get the plant, as I said. And now the countdown begins. NIP are on a clock. They have to find a way to root the FNATIC defense out of here, because the tables have turned. It's now NIP that are invading the site.
FNATIC have such great position. Pronax holding back right here is really good. Trusting in his teammates to get the bomb down. Close. Actually, Flaren takes him down. Pronax jumps down, but I think they've heard it. Get right as he takes him down. What's going on? The advantage, but not anymore. Now it's Olofmeister and Crims left 2-on-2. Crims goes down. Olofmeister on 2 HP. Runs out with a knife, and they get the round anyway. There's no time. No, there is. Oh, what? In the last seconds, they get the defuse. I can't believe it. It looked like Olofmeister thought that was going to be over too. He just charged him with the knife out.
That was one of those split-second diffuses, and it went the right way this time. NIP actually coming out ahead with the retake, and just in the nick of time, make it happen. Freiburg raising his arms and shouting at the crowd. I mean, that's a monster right there that you do not want to wake up. If Freiburg joins the Get Right in Forest party, this is going to be very sad here for FNATIC. But FNATIC, they get that plant. They have to keep their cool. Because of that plant, that bonus 800 for everybody, they can get a very respectable buy-in here and just keep hammering at NIP. They have to find a way to break the confidence that the other Swedish team has developed here.
I don't think anyone is going to be joining Get Right now. He's at 27 kills. That's at the very least 9 ahead of anyone else in this game. That's completely monstrous. This is the rebirth of Get Right, because he's really not been playing his own game. This has been a topic all tournament long, just what a slump Get Right's been in. But he's somehow managed to recover himself just when it matters the most. The perfect time to peak in the whole tournament has to be in the Grand Finals.
Exactly, that's the thing. Of all the times to have your star performance, it is now in the first map on Cobble that FNATIC have picked to mess with your heads. And NIP, they're responding magnificently right now. FNATIC are hard pressed, but Get Right trying to, well, actually catch them off guard here with a bit of an aggressive flash into a peek. FNATIC, they don't flinch. 30 seconds left, and now they're actually going to start feeling the pressure here. FNATIC have to go for this. They don't have any time. They have to overwhelm the defense immediately, but NIP are playing this so perfectly. They fall all the way down to the edges of the site. They're going to hold on out and try to do their best to burn the clock to force FNATIC into a tight spot.
Freiburg then double spray down. Nothing FNATIC can do any longer after that. Olofmeister's going to charge in here, but the time is going to end it. In fact, Get Right with a headshot pushes himself up now to 29 kills. He's 1 away from dropping a 30 bomb with just 24 rounds on played here on Cobblestone. This setup from NIP is very, very different from the one they had when they played earlier in the tournament against Cloud9, I believe. Sure. Then what they did is they had Exist in the low ground back towards the guard spot that we managed to tournament, and that was something we actually pointed out when I was casting the steal. Is something we talked about quite a bit during that game, is that, well, if he just moved up to the back, it'd be way better. Like NIP have figured out exactly the same thing. So that's a really big adjustment.
You can be sure that they were. You can be sure that they were doing their homework yesterday and today, and especially after the LDLC match. They had 20 minutes, but NiP have found the time to adjust. FNATIC are the ones reeling now, and FNATIC are actually running out of rounds now to work with here. NiP are on the favorite side of this map, and FNATIC just keep trying to break the line. But NiP, the confidence and the cool that they have right now under pressure is remarkable. Making the right call in the last round, playing the clock against FNATIC, and once again FNATIC not able to find an entry frag. That's another thing that NiP has been very good about so far towards the end of this half. They aren't giving FNATIC any kind of way in, really, to be able to get an easy way into a bomb site.
Get this kill off Fiflaren, that might open it up, but it's not going to work out like that. Fiflaren imposing his will until Flusher will take him down, but Freiburg and this is a team effort. Everyone chiming in. Freiburg, so Flusher's going to be alone here. Does get a headshot while flashed as well. Second one, nicely done, Flusher. Can we get a little bit more here? He's going to nearly spray down for it. It's so close, Flusher. An incredible toucher, and he almost did that 1-on-4.
Look at GetRight's reaction as well. They knew just how close that was. Had Flusher picked that up, he was actually in a great position behind that boulder as well. He wouldn't have been gunned down immediately. That could have been a very, very close play. And of course, it's Flusher going for the clutch, nearly getting 3 frags. But now we approach the crunch time here. NiP on 14 rounds, 1 round away from securing match point in overtime at the least.
NiP have won 10 rounds in this second half. FNATIC have nothing to show for it at all. Their terrorist side strat, or their attacks to these bomb sites, they've been every single round, and now they've got to make it work. If they lose this one, I'm not sure they can come back, and it will be Forrest opening up more grenades, raining down in the middle. They got to make a move on it here, but GetRight steps it up, and now FNATIC, what are they going to do? They're 3-on-5. They can get it quick, but GetRight will pick up a double and flush. Look at Forrest, action style, just that's going to punish them.
Punish them. Exist missing a huge opportunity. Flusher, if he takes him out, this is over, but Exist makes it happen, and Olafmeister now caught at the bottom of the slope. The bomb on the other side of the wall, the wrong side of the wall, and he's only got 3 HP. He's trying to find a different angle, but Exist will find the frag, and NiP are now on match point 15-11. 1 round away from securing the first map in this best of 3. You need 2 maps, and they're nearly halfway there. But I think that was actually a bit of a mistake there from NiP, really. I think they got a bit ahead of themselves, jumping down and giving FNATIC a way back into that round like that.
I completely agree, and it's not just a mistake because they lost all those people. It's a mistake to assume that you've won already. FNATIC can definitely a possibility. You can't just take this for granted, but Exist will open up, sprays down. Freiburg again before he finally drops. And now it's a 2-on-3. They're running into the bomb. I'm not sure FNATIC have any control of what's going on right now. They need smokes, they need flashbangs, they need to zone out the orbs that are looking into the bomb site here, put down the bomb and defend it, but it's going to take such a long time. And Fiflaren has really been stepping up his game here in the second half. Just the shot, but Forrest will not. Now it's a 3-on-1. Ladies and